Okay, so this is the new BMW X2 xDrive 28i. We are at Palm Springs at BMW's Test Fest, and this is going to be a pretty free-form video. We don't have a lot of time. In fact, I have to test about 5 to 6 different cars in only a few hours. So, you know, it's pretty fast-paced, pretty hectic. So we don't have a lot of time. So I'm just going to give you a quick, overview of the car in voiceover right now.
The BMW X2 is a smaller, sportier, more stylish alternative to the BMW X1. Yes, it's still front-wheel drive, but it has been designed to be sportier, better looking, and more exciting. Our model is an xDrive 28i model, meaning it's all-wheel drive, and it comes with a 2-liter turbocharged engine that makes 228 horsepower.
Alright, so now you have a pretty good overview of the X2. You know all about it. Let's take it for a drive. Let's see how she do. So this is the new X2, and this is my very first time driving it, as I said. And you can immediately tell that it's a very sporty BMW. This is designed to be the sportier alternative to the X1. It's similarly sized to the X1. It's actually quite a bit smaller than the X1, but this, despite being more money, it is definitely sportier. It definitely feels more, I don't want to say enthusiast driven, because I don't know if any enthusiasts are going to want a really small front-wheel drive based, because this is all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive based crossover. But I have to say, initial impressions are surprisingly sporty. The steering is a lot heavier than you'll find in an X1 or even an X3. Even the X3 M40i has steering that's lighter than this, and it requires less effort. It's very tight. The turn radius is actually surprisingly good. I do a couple of U-turns in BMW's Thermal Club because I was a little confused as to where I was going, because I'm an idiot. But immediately I can tell that this is a pretty nimble little SUV, or SAV as BMW calls it. And initial impressions are that it's pretty good. I like it so far. I've only driven it a little bit, but I sort of like it. The suspension is pretty firm. I'm in comfort mode, and I feel everything. I mean, I feel every little bump and nook and cranny in the road. Cabin is pretty good. It's tight. It's definitely what's intimate. If you have a second passenger, you're going to be close. It looks like the X1 from the inside, from this this tall shifter, which I have to say I haven't used a BMW shift lever that actually shifted, like an automatic one that actually shifted through gates rather than just being a little electronic one. So it's fun to use that again. But it has this tall, weird-looking shifter like the X1. Has new gauges, which I like. They're analog, and it's nice to have analog gauges again. I'm kind of getting sick of digital dials. And to be honest, as much as I love BMW, their digital dials aren't that great. So it's nice to have little analog ones. Let's see if they change at all in sport mode. They do not. They stay, and I like that. I like that the gauges stay the same. It's refreshing to see analog gauges. They look nice. They're easy to read. The layout is good. It's a little small, so there's a lot of information in a small area, but they're easy to read. It's very legible. Everything's nice. I like them, so I like the gauges. The Idrive Screen. This is BMW's newest Idrive. I don't know if it's touchscreen. It is touchscreen. Look at that. So you get BMW's newest and latest Idrive technology. So you get touchscreen. I don't know if it does gesture control. Let's see, gesture control. No gesture control. I don't know if it's an option. So now we're in sport mode and sport automatic. So let's see what this little 2-liter turbo can do. It's a pretty punchy little motor. It's not, it's not going to light your hair on fire, but I just got up to, let's say, the speed limit pretty quickly, without much effort at all. The transmission also is pretty good. It's not the ZF 8-speed auto that you find in nearly every BMW now. It's actually don't want to say it's still an 8-speed, but it's not the ZF, because the ZF doesn't work with transverse engines, front-wheel drive layouts. So this is the same one you get in the X1, and it is a good gearbox. It shifts fast and smooth, and you're never really going to notice that it's not the ZF unless you're on like a track and you're really driving it in anger. It's a good gearbox. It works pretty well. The engine is good, and it's quick. This little X2 is surprisingly quick, but it doesn't sound very good. It's not very enthusiastic. When you rev it up high, maybe 5,000 to 6,000 RPM, it sounds okay. It just kind of sounds like generic 4-cylinder engine noise. It's surprisingly fun, this little X2. I mean, these twisty roads I'm on right now, it's a good mix of long sweepers, tight little corners, and I'm actually getting a lot of elevation change. We're going up, not drastic, but we're some hills in between those turns, and it's a fun little car to drive. Actually, I didn't think it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be kind of stylish and maybe a little bit sportier than an X1, but I'm surprised. I really am. Obviously it's not the 2 Series, and it's not going to light your hair on fire. It's not crazy fun to drive, but for what it is, it's surprisingly enjoyable. The steering is basically completely numb. I mean, that's just what you're going to get in this segment. You can't expect a front-wheel drive coupe-like crossover to really give you quality steering feedback. You get a little. I'm getting some vibrations through the wheel. I can feel with my hands how crappy this road surface is. So I guess that's good. Having said that, though, the steering is very accurate. I can place the car well. I can pick my driving lines well. And it's sharp, it's quick, it's responsive, and the weighting is nice. It really is a surprisingly sporty little car to drive. And you can flog it. I mean, let's see. Let's try to sort of really push this thing here. Get rocks kicking up everywhere. There's good grip. I'm not driving slowly. And it's handling it. It's taking what I throw at it with surprising capability. It really is. I'm impressed with this car. I genuinely am.
Most BMW fans are dismissing the X2 before they even give it a fair chance. But after having driven it in Palm Springs, I can promise you, if you give it a chance, it just might surprise you.